Hi everyone, and welcome to Cura Personalis. Today I'm going to talk about a therapy I've learned a few years ago and I've been mastering for the last few years, which is called Biomagnetic Pair Therapy. This therapy is natural, safe and non-invasive, and it focuses on rebalancing the pH of our body and our organism, which is a crucial determinant of our health. As the name suggests, we use pairs of magnets. I have here a few examples, so we can have smaller ones, round ones, and you can see they have opposite forces. So one is red, the other one is black. I can also have squared ones, same size, similar, or bigger ones as the ones I have here. Right? So we use pairs of magnets of similar intensities and we apply in specific areas of our body that are unbalanced. These unbalances will provoke diseases and all the symptoms that people suffer from, and the causes for the unbalances may be diverse. So we have first pathogens, and here we can include the virus as the one that we are hearing about almost every day, the COVID-19. We also have simpler viruses as herpes or the flu. Then we have bacteria, which one example is the one they do some testings in our homes, in our water, to look for the bacteria named Legionella. We can also have fungus, and the examples are the ones we might have on our feet or in our nails. And finally, in the pathogens sections, we have the parasites. Then we can have causes of unbalances in our body due to misfunctions on our system. It can be misfunctions in our glands. A good example is related to the menopause in women, which will make their glands start working a bit differently, and that can create most diversity of symptoms which are at least uncomfortable for them. Another situation of misfunctions in our body has to do with mechanisms. One good example is the pylorus in our stomach. The pylorus is a valve we have in our stomach that allows the food to go out from the stomach into the next section. If that valve is not working properly, what might happen is people will feel heartburn, will feel discomfort in the stomach area, especially when they eat. And sometimes they will really feel pain in the stomach area. So that is another misfunction that will cause unbalances in our body. Finally, we have unbalances caused by energetic or vibrational resonances that are negative to ourselves. That includes thoughts, actions and emotions. If anytime we have a negative thought or a negative emotion or action, it will make it easier for our body to go to the unbalanced side and to be in an unbalanced state, provoking diseases and symptoms. So how does the therapy really work? In the beginning of the session, I will do a check using a technique called kinesiology. I will explain kinesiology in a later video, but for now, what we need to know is that through this check, I'll get a list of points in our body that are unbalanced and that need balancing. Then I'll use magnets as the ones I showed before, and we always use pairs of magnets, and I will apply accordingly to what the pairs on the body, the specific points, had given me before on the check. So let's say I have a pair that is tongue. So I have tongue, I'll put it outside the tongue, not on the tongue, because I'll be using magnets for different persons. So tongue, and will give me tongue. It's a symmetric pair. Instead, we can have asymmetric pairs, which can be tongue and pancreas, here and below. I don't know if you can see it. So those magnets will stay there for a minimum of 25 minutes. And I say minimum because it might vary depending on every situation. What will the magnets do? They will temporarily depolarize those areas where they are, which are provoking the diseases or the symptoms. So I go to the origin of the symptoms themselves of the diseases. They will stay there, as I said, for 25 minutes. And let's say we have a pathogen as the cause of my disease. Let's say I have a virus. It doesn't need to be COVID-19, but it could be. So I have a virus and I know the place where to put the magnets. The virus normally thrive on acid environments, and the magnets will invert it momentarily. Let's put it like this: they will depolarize those areas and make the virus inactive. We can't kill the virus, but we can make it inactive. That's what will happen when we put the magnets on our body on those specific points. After I remove the magnets, those specific areas where they were will regain normality, will return to their normality. But the fact is that that virus that we had will still be inactive and will be waiting, let's say waiting for our body to expel it through our urine or our sweat. One thing I need to mention before I go on is that with this therapy, at least the way I do it, there's an important fact that if not, I cannot do it. If that specific aspect of the therapy is not fulfilled, there's nothing I can do. And that is the permission of the patient, the permission of the person that is receiving the therapy. Let's say someone is not really keen on doing the therapy, or that they really say, I don't want it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I do the therapy. I cannot even do the checks on the person. Even if I can do a bit of check and then the person says, you know what, I don't want it anymore. It doesn't matter if I know the points on that person's body. If I use magnets as these ones, they are more powerful ones, as you can see. Let me show you. So it doesn't matter if I put all the magnets I have in that person's body in specific points, it doesn't matter. It won't do anything. This means that the person that is receiving the therapy needs to allow me consciously to do the therapy, or there's nothing that I can do. This is related to the free will that we all have in our lives. Now, you might be wondering, does this therapy works only when I'm with you, doing the session with you, John? And the answer is no, it works on a distance. It works even without the person being with me. The only thing I need is permission, consciously permission, and then willingness of getting better. That's it. So how does it work at distance? I need to explain one thing before I explain really how it works on a distance. We have our physical body, right? But we also have our energetic body. You can easily check that out, because if you put your hand on someone's face, they must say, oh, you're warm, or you're cold. So that is a form of energy going out from your hand, and that happens in our body. Quantum physics already explains that every single person has a bioenergetic field, an energetic field surrounding us. So the magnets that I use will be put on the physical body, right? But they will impact the energetic field, not the physical body. So that energetic field will be the cause of disease, and I'll use the magnets to alter, to make a slightly change temporarily to make the disease go away. Makes sense, because we're going to the origin. So let's say I want to do the therapy for someone that I love, but that person is not able to come to the session, to come physically to the session. So it might be that the person is in a hospital bed or in a nursing home. It might even be a children or a person that has some sort of disability, right? So if I want to do the therapy for someone I love, I need the consent, the permission from that person, my consent as well, and I will give to the therapist. In this case, it would be me. So someone comes to me and says that they want to do a therapy for someone else, or that they want the therapy for themselves but they cannot come to me. There's other ways of doing that. and how does it really works in our minds and in our intentions. So imagine that I will do the therapy for someone that asks me to do on a distance. They cannot come to me. I will use my physical body, right? And then I will say that I'll give permission to receive the energetic field of that person within my physical body, within my energetic field, and then I put the magnets on myself, on my physical body, and that will change the energetic field of that person. So, John, have you been doing that? And I say, yes, and I need to add, successfully. I started doing it way before COVID-19 phase where we need to be in lockdowns and away from people. And of course, I continued to do during this phase. First, I start doing the therapy on a distance to people from my family, from my close family. And I've noticed that it really worked. And eventually, what I can say is that I realized that it works the same or even better as if we were with the person. As long as the person allows me to do, as long as the person gives permission and is willing, really willing, to accept the help, to accept the healing, it works just fine and it will have the same effect as if the person was with me, right? I know it might sound a bit weird, but it just works. And I'll give a few examples of that. I had a situation where a close family member was having infections, urine infections, monthly. And when I say monthly, is at least once per month. That is very discomfortable, and in this case it's a female, so it's even more discomfortable and it's even more prone to happen again. Sometimes, as this example, it doesn't work in one session only. So I needed to do a few sections over a period of time. Every time the person said, okay, starting to feel the urine infection again, can you check it, can you do the therapy? And I was doing it. And after a few 1-2 months, the person stopped having urine infections. At this moment, I can say that whenever those simple symptoms, because now she doesn't have the urine infection, she has slightly the symptoms, and then they go away as soon as she drinks a bit of water, or if needed, I'll do the therapy again. But that is happening maybe 2-3 times per year, right? It's a big change. All of those sessions I've made, they were at a distance, right? The person is in a different country, in a different location, and I've made all of it on a distance, and it did work. That is one example. I've had other examples, and when I want to do for my child, I'll use myself to do the therapy, and it works just fine. The symptoms disappear. I've had another situation, another case of, this was the example I've been giving now, which was a father was asking me, look, my son has herpes on his lips. Can you do it? And I was like, yeah, of course. It's just a virus. In my mind, it's just a virus. So I've made the therapy at distance. I think I didn't even see the children, the kids. And a few days later, that kid didn't have any more herpes, and it didn't come back ever since. Before, that kid was having once every two months, or whenever the time got colder, whatever. And now, ever since, he doesn't have any more the herpes on his lips. So it does work on a distance. I know it's a bit sketchy if you just heard this kind of information now, but it does work. Just give it a try if you feel like, and that is it. So that's all for me today. If you enjoyed the video, click on the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share this information, this video, with other people, with family, with friends, as you might be helping someone that is in need of a healing. For further information, go to our Facebook page where you'll have all the information there. Send me a message or an email and I will reply as soon as I can. Thank you very much for listening, and namaste.